Hi, Samanda. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm Rob. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
This is my wife, Karen.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. So you're okay with me tagging along?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get you two together. I'll just interview you together.
I'm just gonna put my bag down, actually.
It's just audio, but sometimes it's like nice to just go back and forth if you pick up where the other. If you talk like that, I don't know, some people do.
Yeah, we do sometimes, yeah.
Okay, so if I could just get you to introduce yourself. So say, my name is, your first and last name.
My name is Rob Barron.
My name is Karen Wilhelm.
Great, and tell me what we're doing today.
So we're just out garage sailing, and you know, we've been collecting antiques and collectibles together for about 15 or 20 years out at garage sales. And you know, every weekend or at the end of the weekend on Monday, I would come back to work and I would have to, you know, tell my coworkers and my boss, oh, you guys won't believe the incredible treasure we found this weekend at a garage sale. And one day my boss just said, why aren't you documenting it? And it was just something that hadn't occurred to me. So now we go out garage sailing on the weekends, and I bring my little GoPro camera along and we vlog it for our YouTube channel. And that we've been doing that now for 7 years, and it's a lot of fun.
What do you think about now having the YouTube channel and being the Bargain Barons?
It's, for the most part, it's fun. It's a lot more work. And at the beginning, I was a little apprehensive because I really enjoy garage sailing. I find it very relaxing, and I was worried that the YouTube channel was going to wreck the garage sailing for us, but it hasn't. So lucky, because otherwise we may have put a halt to it. But you know, the people that watch it, they seem to really enjoy it. So we really like to hear feedback from them too. It really keeps us motivated to make more videos.
It's actually been really surprising, you know. We'll be out at the grocery store and we'll be recognized by someone locally, and we get you know, mail from viewers from halfway across the world, people that we don't know and we've never met, but they watch our vlog on a regular basis, and they feel like they know us because we're in their living room every week, and so even just some unexpected things that we love about the channel that wasn't something that we had anticipated.
Oh, that's so great. And so what is it that you originally love about going garage sailing?
Well, you never know what you're gonna find. That's like the biggest thing. It's the treasures, and a lot of times it's the people as well. We meet so many amazing, funny, just great people when you're garage sailing. And we used to host garage sales, and so we would meet people that way. And so when we stopped doing that and then we were doing this, we sort of got our fill of fun people this way.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I have anything to add to that.
Well, and do you see it like changing? Like, are people moving more online, or are garage sales as frequent as they used to be?
You know, it got a little tight over COVID there, but I think it's opening up again here, and I think we're seeing about the same amount of garage sales as we did prior to COVID and all that. So even though there is a lot of online sales and whatnot, we still, you know, come out and we'll be out garage sailing for 6 hours, which, you know, for me is enough. So yeah, I think we're still good.
That's great. So okay, so they haven't slowed down. There's still lots of garage sales.
Yes.
Okay, and when you go, what are you looking for?
Mostly we are looking for antiques and vintage items, unique things. We do pick up practical items like light bulbs and cleaning products and stuff like that. It just saves so much money if you don't have to buy everything new at the store. But yeah, it's mostly for fun stuff like, yeah, antiques. And then our friend is going to be opening an antique/vintage store soon in Stockholm. So now we're kind of looking for items for her as well.
Yeah, you know, just our love of antiques and collectibles and even, you know, vintage jewelry. She's got a little collection, and we can't afford to go to the antique shops and pay those prices. I mean, I work a regular job Monday to Friday, you know, same with her before COVID, and it's so in order for us to have these things, it's more of we have to kind of find them in the wild for a deal, because like I say, we just can't afford to pay, you know, $100 even though it's worth $100, you know, I'd rather pay 20. So that was kind of how it was born, was just, you know, out looking for the deal. Can we find that diamond in the rough, that little treasure for pennies on the dollar, and also what kind of story goes with that? You know, it's also nice to buy it from the owner, not from some shop owner who maybe doesn't know the history behind an item that they bought on their haul. But so yeah, people, the great things you find just in the wild, and the stories behind those things. We love all of that.
Well, that's so great. Do you like? What's the feeling you get when you get a good deal?
Oh, it's you know, it's like that euphoric. I mean, almost like a runner's high, maybe would be a great term for it. It's very motivating, and as soon as you find something that to you is a fantastic score, you just can't wait to get to that next sale, because there might be something there too. And it's like a snowball effect, right? As you come across these amazing finds, and it's addicting. It's the next day you've got off, you want to get out there and start hunting again. So, yeah.
This might be a difficult question to answer, but how do you guys, you're such experts, like you recognize things, you know what it's worth. How did that happen? Just over time?
Yes, a lot of it is because, how do I say it? Glad this isn't live.
No, it's not live. I can cut anything out.
Good girl. Because I'm so passionate about antiques and older items, and I like to learn. It's a constant learning process. Like, you find one thing, and then you look it up online, and then you're like, oh, and it relates to something else, and so then you find out about that other thing, and I just learn because of seeing, like, for example, when we're looking for gold and silver items, you get to the point where you can just tell by the color of the gold if it's, you know, real gold or if it's costume jewelry. And so that's just something that comes over time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I knew that would be a difficult question. I figure there's not a how-to book. I'm just so impressed with your knowledge. Is there, like, do you have something that maybe you think of as your, like, best find?
Yeah, we probably both have our own best finds. For me, it was an estate sale we went to. Oh boy, it was before we were filming even, so it's probably about 10 years ago. And I found a 1907 Thomas Edison cylinder record player that was fully functional, and it came with about 30 cylinder records, and so I bought that, and we still have that at home, and I'll wind it up and throw a cylinder on there from time to time, or especially if we have company over and they want to see all our treasures. That's one of the things I definitely show off. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, that's super cool. What is yours?
Well, I have a few, because we found so many amazing things. It's hard to just pick one, and we've been doing it for so long too. This year, I think our best find is an antique chocolate display cabinet that came out of the general store in Disley, and it has a base and it rotates, and it's glass on 3 sides and then doors on the back, so that, you know, the storekeeper could fill it. So that's probably our best one this year. But overall, we found, I think, 3 sterling silverware sets at estate sales. So we're pretty excited about that.
Awesome. And then I don't think I'll put this one in on my story, but I'm just curious, since Madeline's was about this Jesse James portrait, what's the update with that?
Unfortunately, we don't really have any updates with the Jesse James. So we still have this Jesse James tintype, and I mean, it's been authenticated through a forensic authenticator in LA. His name escapes me at the moment.
That's okay. Like I said, this is more for me and my curiosity.
Kent Gibson, but you know, he really suggested that we try to trace down the last 100 years of provenance. Where has it been for the last 100 years? And we are kind of stuck in the mid-90s. We know it was purchased at an auction in Saskatoon in about 1995. Unfortunately, we can't even nail down what auction house it was bought at, so it's been really difficult to find any information on it before 1995, really. And so, you know, we still have it. It's still part of our collection. And we have a lot of tintypes. And we've got a couple other tintypes of famous people, too. So, Grover Cleveland. I think we've got a tintype of Abraham Lincoln, even.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. And so today, are we looking for anything specific or just looking?
You just never know what's going to be there. So like you kind of know it when you see it. Like I just, you know, have well, for myself, for my own collection, I have like an eye for what I like. And so I'll gravitate to, well, and shiny, you know, jewelry items and stuff. But yeah, you just never know what's going to be at a sale, right? If it's going to be full of antiques or, you know, just practical stuff.
Yeah. Okay. And do you keep everything you find?
We keep about 80% of the things we buy. I mean, every once in a while, if we come across maybe an old piece of furniture or a broken down dresser that Karen thinks she can sort of fix up and flip to help pay for the weekend's haul, we'll do that. But yes, we're mostly out buying for ourselves. We don't have a shop. We don't have an online store. Now, that being said, as we bring things into the house, we do eventually need to sell things that we currently own so that we don't become hoarders and start creating pathways through the house. So I mean, you know, we do get rid of some things on Virage sale or Facebook Marketplace from time to time, but yeah, it's essentially mostly for us. And as Karen mentioned, we do have a friend now opening up a store in Stockholm, so we've been looking for her as well.
What is she on the hunt for?
She buys a wide variety of things, everything from like, you know, rustic antique things to, you know, vintage and mid-century modern. It runs the gamut. She finds a lot of very interesting things. Her shop is going to be very eclectic. So, you know, it doesn't matter what your taste is. She probably has something that you will want.
And I know I kind of asked like if garage sales are going away, but you said they're not. Do you think there's like more antique shops popping up? It feels like it for me, but I don't know. Or vintage shops.
Yeah, well, there's the vintage market that, well, it was open, I guess, a few years ago, but then they moved and expanded. So now they have, like, everybody sort of has a booth in there. So you don't have to have your own store. I think it's a really great way for a lot of people that don't necessarily have a store's worth of items to bring their, you know, group of interesting things to market without having huge overhead. And that way there's a variety there too. When there's, you know, 20 vendors, everybody's going to have different things. So I think that's really great. I don't know if there's any new antique stores.
Yeah, I mean, as people that don't really go to a lot of antique shops because we can't afford them, but you know, I really wouldn't be surprised to learn that we're getting more and more. I mean, vintage and antique is kind of on the comeback. I think people are realizing that, hey, you know, I'm having to buy a new couch every 5 years because, you know, the current standards just aren't where they were, you know, 50, 60 years ago. And so sometimes when you find a nice vintage set, we're seeing that people are buying that because they know it's going to last them a while, and things were just, you know, built with quality back then, and real wood. But yeah, you know, it is on the comeback, the vintage and the antique style of furniture, of home furnishings, and so yeah, I certainly wouldn't be surprised to learn that we're getting more of those kinds of shops.
Yeah, I guess it's not like a huge amount, but I was thinking like the Sinking Canoe opened in Indian Head, and then now this Stockholm one, maybe just a Long Highway one there. There's a few popping up. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Not really. Just I would love for people to, you know, if you see us out and about and you know who we are, don't be afraid to come say hi to us. We always love to meet new people. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. Yeah, that's about it. You know, we're friendly. We're just regular people. Like I say, I work a regular job during the week, and this is just something that started out of coworkers wanting me to to document our weekend haul, and here we are, 7 years later, and like I say, we're getting recognized at the grocery store these days. So it's been quite the journey, but we're sure loving it, and I don't see us stopping anytime soon.
Great. Any last words for you?
Just, I guess, if you haven't been to a sale or you are unsure of what to expect, it's just really a lot of fun. And it's not expensive. And you can bring the family. And, there's kid stuff, there's just everything. And like I said before, the people are wonderful. And it's just a really good time.
In fact, meeting some of the people are some of the best moments we have on the show is some of the people that we meet. So.
Yeah, you were saying the stories behind the items. I didn't want to put you on the spot before, but is there one that stands out to you? A recent one where you heard a story behind the item you purchased?
I think probably the most recent one would be the chocolate cabinet from the Disley General Store. If we hadn't been told that, we just wouldn't know what it was. It would just be a nice antique cabinet. But knowing that it had been used for years in a general store in a local small town, and specifically for chocolate, I mean, that is just so grand. It's so fantastic to know that, and to be able to pass that on to maybe the next person when we eventually, nobody ever owns anything. We're just temporary caretakers while we have something, and then eventually it's passed on to the next person. And so if we can pass that knowledge and the history of that object along with to that person with the object, that makes it even better.
Oh, that's so good. Where is the case right now?
Well, we haven't found the perfect spot for it yet. So it's still in the parlor of our home. I think we're going to move it up into the library, but we're just unsure. And
it's big.
Unfortunately, there was no chocolate in it, though, when we got it. So that was the one downfall.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to picture. It sounds huge. You said it rotates?
It's like 6 feet tall. It's the base is like here, and there's got this big lazy Susan kind of thing on it. And so then it sits on. Oh, sorry.
And it has 3 glass shelves, like thick glass.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's like huge. And so, but like sitting on someone's driveway, it doesn't look that big. And so when you get it home, then we're like, oh.
So that's why the perfect spot takes some moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like, the house is empty.
Right.
So, so it's like, oh, what do we move around? What do we get rid of? What do we,
Yeah.
So.
It's fantastic. So it's something we have to keep.
We have to keep. Yeah. Well, our friend that's opening a store, I showed her, and she was like, "Oh my God, if you get rid of that, I'll take it."
That'd be perfect to display things.
It would. Yeah. That's what we're going to use it for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll follow you to the next one.
Just follow us.